Okay, let me share my screen. Can you see my screen? Wait, it's not sharing. Now, can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Um, Hello? শুনি আছা ন? Hello? Hello? You can hear me, right? Okay. So today we are talking about proxy server. Okay. Now, what is basically a proxy server? Here it is said that it is also known as application gateway. So this is we can say a pictorial representation of a proxy server. So suppose this is application gateway and this is known as a proxy server. This is the user computer through which a user is connected to a host. Okay. So now let's see the working of the application gateway. Okay. The application gateway is also known as proxy server. And why it is known as proxy? Proxy means what? It is like substitute. Okay. And it is used in someone's place, right? So that's why it is known as proxy. So now let's see the working of the application gateway. So basically, suppose this is a user and this one is the destination. Suppose a user want to send a message from source to destination. Okay. So how a user send a information from source to destination? So here first what it does, this is the user, this user first contacts the application gateway, contacts this gateway by using TCP connection or TCP IP application. So this is a user computer, it has a TCP application installed here. Okay. And here also the TCP application is installed here. I think we discussed in our earlier class. Okay. When we discussed about the working of web browser and web server, all that. So first, when a user want to communicate with a server or anything or anybody or a host, so what it does, it first contact the application gateway by TCP IP connection or TCP IP application through the TCP IP application. Okay. Now this application gateway, this is the application gateway. So now this application gateway ask the user, okay, ask the user about the domain name or about the IP address of the host or or the server that he want to communicate. Okay. Means this application gateway ask about the address, about the IP address, about the domain name of the mm, which the user want to set up a connection or which the user want to connect. Suppose this one here in this case. Okay. Then the this application gateway ask the user for ID and password which is required to access the service of the application gateway. Means when you want to access the service of this application gateway, you need an ID and a password. Okay. So the first this application gateway ask about the IP address of the destination or the host which the user want to communicate. Second point is that this application gateway asks the user for ID and password to access the service of the application gateway. Clear? Clear? Okay, I have another diagram here. That diagram will be easy for you. Can you see this another diagram? Let me check the chat. Yes, right. Okay. So first, suppose this one is user and this one is the server, or this one is the host. Okay. This one is source and this one is destination. Suppose a user want to send a message from source to destination, or suppose this user want to communicate with this host. Okay. First, what does this user perform? This user first communicate with this application gateway through TCP IP connection. Okay, this features is not available. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. First is that this host contact this application gateway through TCP IP connection. When the user contact this the application gateway first ask for the IP address or the domain name of the server that the user want to communicate, or that the user want to set up a connection. Okay. Number second point is that the application gateway ask the user for ID and password which is required to access the service of the application gateway. Okay, after that, the user provide his information to the application gateway. Okay, after that, the application gateway now access this host on behalf of this user. Access this host on behalf of this user. Okay, and passes the packet or the message of the user to the host. Clear? But there are some variation of application gateway, or we can say types of application gateway. The like circuit gateway, it provides some additional function as compared to our application gateway. Okay, we will not talk about what are the function that will perform by the application gateway or the circuit gateway. We will just talk here the process, how they transfer data or message from a source to destination by a proxy server. When there is a proxy server, how they actually transfer the data from source to destination. So what does the circuit gateway does? It create a new connection. As I just told just now that there are some different types of application gateway like circuit gateway, okay, which contains some additional functions or additional features as compared to this application gateway. Okay. Now, what are the functions or what are the features the application gateway? What does the application gateway does, or the circuit gateway? Here we are talking about the circuit gateway. The circuit gateway create a new connection between this itself and this host, means server. We can say the user the user is not aware of this. Users just make a illusion that he is directly communicating with the server, but actually the user is not directly communicating with the server. User is communicating through this application gateway or through this circuit gateway, whatever the gateway they are using. Okay, whatever the gateway they are using, depending upon the gateway they are using, there are various type of functions are there. Okay, So user just make a illusion that he is directly communicating with the server, but actually one application gateway is there. This application gateway is communicating on behalf of user to the server. Clear? Like how see see this circuit gateway. So suppose this is the IP address of source 178.29.10.90. Okay, this is the suppose this is the source address. Okay, this is the packet and this is the packet. This packet is coming from this source and this is the source address. So what does this circuit address perform? This circuit address changes the IP address, changes the source IP address in the packet from the user. See, this one is 90 and this one is 70. Okay, changes the IP address of the packet that coming from the user. Okay, with its own, and pass it to the server. This way the IP address of the computer of the user are hidden from this outer world. Clear? Clear or not? It's a very simple one. So there are some difference between the application gateway and the circuit gateway or packet filter. See, all these are used for security purpose. Okay, you can simply send a message from sender to the receiver by doing some encryption also. Okay, or there are some firewall also. I think you know about firewall, right? There are different firewall means what? Firewall means what? All the traffic or all the messages that coming from, suppose let's take the example of our university, downtown university. So all the messages that coming from the universe, coming from outside to the university, or from the university, going from the university. Okay, all these messages must pass through a firewall. Suppose a firewall is set up there. Okay, firewall is something like a wall. Okay, something like a wall. So all the messages that must be passed through that wall, whatever the message coming from the university, sorry, coming to the university or going from the university, no matter. So all the messages should pass through that wall, firewall, and you have some given some rules to that firewall, that if this message contains these things, then you discard this message. There are some security measures that you set in the firewall. Okay, so why this proxy server is used? Their proxy servers are basically used to hide the address of the source, or we can say the hide the address or details of the user. Clear? Clear or not? See, there are various way to send a message from source to destination. Okay, you simply just send a message without any encryption, or you can give some encryption technique. And in last class we discussed about some SSL. These are some protocols. These protocols are used for security level. Okay, so various encryption algorithms are there. Through that algorithm, they encrypted our data so that our data could be safe. Okay, so like this way, proxy server is also something like this. Basically it uses for security purpose or to hide the actual address of the user. So the outside world means the server will, since the IP address is changes to the IP address of the application gateway, so the server will never know about the actual user through which the user to whom the server is communicating. Correct? Clear? Say something clear or not? Or I forgot to record. I don't know. I maybe forgot. Clear or not? Say something.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any doubts on this proxy server? These are two figures that I just shown you. So I will give you some point, okay, from my book, and just you write down the book. Make the notes on this. Okay. Habone?